Anxiety at work is very real, Mike, says Babbitt. I work in education in colleges, and the recruitment situation in education is so bad that every lecturer is doing a job of 3 others. This is overwhelming, and they're continually assessing our teaching, our capability. There's no room to breathe. It's suffocating, and it's the same across many different sectors. Well, Babbitt, you may say that, but my son goes to university, and when I said to him, how are you getting on? He said, well, I don't always make all the lectures. And I said, well, how many lectures have you got? And he went, 3. And I said, what, 3 a day? And he went, no, 3 a week. 3 a week. So if you're suffocating and there's no room to breathe when you're a lecturer at university giving 3 lectures a week, or maybe even giving 6 lectures a week, that's only 1 and a bit a day. So get a grip, Babbitt, I would say. And if you're suffering from anxiety at work because you can't do more than 1 lecture a day, maybe you're in the wrong job and you should go and work at Tesco's filling shelves. Do you see what I'm saying? The sick workforce is an absolute crock of nonsense. Let's talk to Mike Cherry, business owner, former national chair of the Federation of Small Businesses, because he'll know a thing or two, I'm sure, about this. Mike, a very good morning to you.
Mike, good morning.
Good to talk to you. I mean, I know that there are, degrees of these things, and it's not one thing or another. It's not black and it's not white, and I get all that. But there's surely a problem in this country when you've got upwards of 2 million, approaching 4 million, they reckon, in the next couple of years. People saying they're too anxious to go to work, they can't work, they're suffering from mental health problems, and the government's trying to get them back to work. What are we supposed to do?
I think first and foremost, you've got to start by recognising that the smaller businesses are probably one of the better places to reach those out of work or hard to reach people who get them back into work. But when we look at the budget, that has just gone in completely the opposite direction.
Yes.
We've seen the increase in the national insurance, and certainly for the smallest micro businesses, they have had the reinstallation, if you like, of the employment allowance back to where it was originally intended in the first place. So they won't be paying that increase, but other small businesses will certainly be paying the increase. And I think one of the biggest disincentives now is the decrease in that threshold from 9,100 to 5,000, which is where a small business or any business will now start to pay national insurance on employers. And I think that is one of the biggest disincentives to get those who want part-time work continuing to work, or others who would like some part-time work back into work. So that's the first thing. We then look at the increase in the national minimum wage coming in. Last year under the Conservatives we had 10%. This year under Labour we've now got 6.7%. Not unsurprising, but again it is piling more and more pressure on employers' upfront costs in being able to take people on that they would wish to give them a chance. I think though that the biggest disincentive, and this is the bit that the media and everybody else seems to be missing, whilst it's right to be talking about agricultural property reliefs being removed from farmers and the work they do, goodness, I mean, I don't think many people would actually like to be a farmer.
No.
This also applies to small businesses, and that's one piece that has been completely missed.
Yeah.
This is going to have long-term damage on local communities. And let's not forget that many small businesses that are family-owned treat this not just as a business, but also as a vocation. They are there to hand that family business on, in the majority of cases, to the next generation in whichever way they can. This is the biggest disincentive and the biggest tax take against those businesses to enable them to do that.
Yeah.
Long term, that is going to be hugely damaging to our economy.
What do you think business owners will do, particularly small business owners, in order to avoid, suffering that particular fate? Because if they can't pass the business on without losing a bucket load of money, 40% or whatever it is that they're going to be taxed, what do you think they will do to get around it? Because they will get around it,
first thing is,
won't they?
Most family businesses will have their assets all tied up in the business.
Right.
So there is very little profit to start with. And there is certainly no spare cash lying around to pay these big tax demands. The only thing that they can do at present is to hand that business on and hope that they live long enough for the next 7 years to miss the current rate of inheritance tax.
Right.
You can't guarantee that, obviously. None of us know when we're going to pass on. And it makes planning very, very difficult. It also means that the majority of these small businesses and farmers are going to have to seek more professional help. That is more time out of the business.
Yeah.
That is another cost to the business. And it's just a complete disincentive to continue to invest, to continue to grow the business, and to take on more people.
It really is absolutely ridiculous what this government have done in such a short period of time. Alienated business, alienated farmers, alienated pensioners, alienated general public to the extent where 2.5 million people have now said they want to have an election. Mike, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Mike Cherry, business owner, former national chair of the Federation of Small Businesses, pointing out that, you know, it's not just farmers that are going to suffer from this inheritance tax change. It's also owners of small businesses who are, after all, the backbone of this entire country.